Emotional hook, inciting incident. She tossed the $100 bill onto the table like she was tipping a waitress. Book a cab to your parents' place. Goodbye. Her voice was sweet poison. My stepsister. My husband standing behind her, silent, smug. The divorce papers between us, my signature still wet. And in that moment, I didn't cry. I smiled. Because she thought she'd won. Backstory setup, the relationship. 2 years ago, I welcomed her into my life. Our father remarried late, bringing her into the family. I believed her stories about growing up with nothing, about wanting a real sister. I introduced her to James at a company gala. James, charismatic, tailored suits, sharp eyes, CEO of Lucerne Furnishings, the billion-dollar empire my late mother built before she died. He married me 6 months later. She was my bridesmaid. I thought she was smiling for me that day. Turns out, she was smiling at him. Discovery of betrayal. The first crack was small. An earring in our bedroom that wasn't mine. A text on his phone, hidden under a fake name. Her perfume lingering in the elevator when she claimed she was just stopping by. I confronted neither. Instead, I hired someone who didn't flinch at the word dig. Within a week, I had photos, their weekend business trip to Milan, her hand in his. Receipts, the diamond bracelet charged to the company account. The empire my mother built was rotting from the inside, not just with adultery, but embezzlement. Shift in mindset, strategic planning begins. They thought my silence meant weakness, but I didn't scream. I didn't file for divorce right away. I started signing documents James never bothered to read. Subtle ownership transfers, quiet power shifts. Because James wasn't really the CEO. His name was on the press releases, but the controlling shares? Still mine. He was a puppet. My mother had made sure of it in her will. Execution of the plan. First, I gathered proof of their embezzlement, clear enough to ruin him legally. Then I rewrote the corporate structure, appointing an interim CEO in case of my unexpected absence. Finally, I let the divorce proceedings begin. When James tried to negotiate a financial settlement, I agreed, on paper. I even let him think he'd be walking away with half my stake. He didn't realize I'd already moved the shares into a trust under my sole control. My lawyer? The same one who handled my mother's estate. He knew every clause, every lock on the vault, and he was itching to see it snap shut. Climax and confrontation, which brought us to that table. My stepsister tossing me cab fare like a charity case. James watching with the arrogance of a man who thinks his bank account just doubled. My lawyer chuckled, loud enough to break their victory high. "What's so funny?" she snapped. He slid 2 documents toward them. One, James's termination letter as CEO, effective immediately. 2, a legal notice freezing all his personal and joint accounts pending an embezzlement investigation. Her smile faltered. James blinked, scanning the paper. You can't," he stammered. "I can," I said, and I did. My stepsister grabbed the paper, skimming it. "Wait, this says the controlling shares were never his," my lawyer finished. "They've always belonged to her. James was an employee, a very expensive one, and now an unemployed one." They left the room in silence. No more sneers, no more smug smiles, just the weight of a truth they couldn't undo. I didn't take back the $100 bill. I kept it, not as payment, but as a souvenir of the day they learned who they were really dealing with. My mother used to say, "A queen doesn't shout, she moves pieces." Today, the board was mine again.